ready for the excitement, the super exciting excitement of reading a manual. Quite possibly the most exciting part of the game. So we left off on page 12. Now we're going to read through the adventure menu on page 13. Adventure menu. The adventure menu allows access to all the main functions of the Pool of Radiance. This menu shows either the current 3D picture of the area in front of the party and the status of the party if in a town adventure, or the area around the party if in the wilderness. A 3D picture of the area? Are they just talking about like what you can see like in the environment? Like just like the viewport, like the POV? Is that what they're talking about? If any party members are injured, their hit point numbers showing how many they have now are highlighted for easy recognition. There are several commands available to you from this menu. Adventure menu. Move, move, cast, area, and camp, search, and look. Move. This is the command to move the party. How the party moves is shown in the on the quick reference card provided with the game for your computer. What do you mean it can't be found? It's the manual. Oh, that's right. I do need to order one of those like transponder thingies. Do I have my insurance card with me? So this is the plus side of having a Twitch channel that nobody watches and a YouTube channel that nobody watches, which is that I can just drop whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't want to do that right now. I'll do it when I can get the insurance card from out of my car and have a photo of my license plate, or I can get the transponder thingy. Okay. This is the command to move the party. How the party moves is shown on the quick reference card provided with the game for your computer. All right, I'm just gonna have to fire up Golem to get that file, because I don't know exactly what they're talking about. I think they're like all you have to do is just use the arrow keys. In 3D, travel the party. Is it? It's not showing the thingy. All right, I just want to see if they. I'm gonna have to manually. Right. How is it that it's showing this? Okay, that's fine. There. All right, so this is the how to move around keys. Ah, that makes more sense now. So yesterday when I was trying to get the game to work, I was hitting 1 and 7 to move the menu up and down, or down and up. Okay, so they've got keys for like in this thingy. I'm just gonna have to refer back to this later because I think it will be like a toggle. So in this, like the move button right here, like on this left figure, I think that move button opens up this, and that lets you move to a specific square. Like in this, 4 and 6 would be strafe, right? But there's a separate thing. How would you move from like? All right, this will make sense later, and it will become intuitive. Like, I don't know how you go from this set of commands on the right to this set of commands on the left. Like, maybe you have to click a button on the screen in order to return from your movement keys to the kind of 3D move set of keys. So you've got 2 different keys for moving the menu up and 2 different keys for moving the menu down. Okay, fine. Just, it'll make sense. A second. I gotta do this thing. So for some reason, alright, it's already off. Cross device service. I've got it turned off to where it's not supposed to be starting on boot, but it keeps turning on, and I can't figure out a way to make it so that it's not turning off. I have to find a way to make sure that it doesn't turn itself on as soon as I boot into Windows. Normally each movement forward or back puts the party into another square and takes 1 minute of game time. Sheesh. Turning keeps the party in the same square, takes no game time. If the party has search on, moving one square takes 10 minutes. Huh. So I guess it's like an auto search kind of a thing. In the wilderness, the party can move in any of 8 directions. Moving one square takes any of 8 directions. What does that mean? You got forward, back, left, right, diagonal, 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 diagonal. Oh. View. This displays a character screen as described in viewing a character. Cast. This command sends you to the cast menu so your active character can throw a magic spell. I don't know why I'm talking so loud. This command sends you to the cast menu so your active character can throw a magic spell. See the section on magic for a description of how to. See a section on magic for description on how to cast spells and their effect. Area. This shows an overhead view of the area around the party. If the party is lost or in unfamiliar territory, this command may not be available. How do you get lost? That could be aside from just not having access to a map. Like, is there some mechanic in the game that says you are lost? You cannot find a direction. Encamp. This menu sends you to the encamp. This command sends you to the encamp menu. This is a very important part of the game and is described in its own section. Search. A party can move in search mode, which takes 10 minutes of game per move. This allows the party to carefully search the area they are passing, but also gives wandering monsters a greater chance to find them. Why? I guess because if you're dwelling in some area for too long, the monsters like start to come after you. So you're stationary. You only need to hit the search command once to start the party moving at search speed. Then hit the command again later to reset them to a normal movement. You do not need to hit search for every move. In search, you're assumed to be checking for secret doors, mapping, moving as silently as possible, hiding in any available shadows, and generally being as careful as possible. Well then, why is it that the monsters can find you easier? If you're hiding in the shadows and being as careful as possible, why is it that the monsters are just like, yep, we found you? If you never go into search mode, you will run into fewer wandering monsters because you're moving faster, but have less chance of finding concealed treasures or traps before they are sprung. Look, so yeah, I don't think the search thing would be very useful if like, you're like in the town and everything. Ow. I just hit my foot on my chair. Look, this command is used to look at a square more closely, as if your party has moved into the square again. I got distracted. Okay, so look, this command is used to look at a square more closely, as if your party's moved into the square again. If the party is moving at a normal rate, then a look command treats that particular square as if the party moved into it in search mode. What? What? So do you get the same penalty as with search mode? They gonna go? They gonna? No, they're not gonna elaborate on that. So does look and search do the same thing? Is it just like you're reviewing a square and it gives you the same information like it would have if you were in search mode? Alright, in camp. This command is used in several menus to take time off to try to rebuild characters in the party. It's used to handle day-to-day functions such as saving game, resting to heal, or memorizing spells described under the magic menu, and changing game items such as game speed or party order. Game speed? Does that have to do with like the CPU cycles? In camp menu, save, view, magic, rest, alter, and exit. Save. This command saves the characters and game as they are. Check the quick reference card for any system-specific details on how to save your game. View. This displays the view menu as described under viewing a character. In camp, this command does not display In camp, this does not display the sell item or ID commands. So in camp as opposed to in town, I guess. Magic. Magic is a very important part of Pool of Radiance and is described later and it's under its own heading. Magical spells can also be memorized. No, magical spells can only be memorized while the party is in camp. It's very bright outside. Rest. One of the most important aspects of the in-camp menu is the chance to rest. Characters catch their normal sleep without having to go to camp. Huh. However, to memorize spells or heal naturally, specific rest time is necessary. For every 24 uninterrupted hours of resting in camp, every wounded character regains one hit point above and beyond any recovery gained from healing magics. Does that have the same, like, is that the same as when you go into a town and you get a cleric to heal you? Every wounded character regains one hit point above and beyond any recovery gained from healing magics. I guess I'm gonna have to wait until the section about healing magics comes up. The initial resting time is established by anyone who is memorizing spells. The screen will show the days, hours, and minutes necessary for the spell-using members of the party to memorize or pray for the spells they want to memorize. Memorizing any spells at all takes a minimum of 4 hours. Third level spells take a minimum of 6 hours. See the magic menu for further description of memorizing spells. Rest can be interrupted by any random encounter, as only take long rests in safe places such as inns, hideouts, or secure buildings. Rest menu. Rest, increase, decrease, exit. Rest. Once you have determined the full time you want the party to rest, this command starts them resting. Increase. This command adds to the time the party will stay in camp, usually for resting to regain lost hit points. For every 24 uninterrupted hours in camp, every 24 uninterrupted hours in camp restores 1 HP to every injured member of the group. Okay. Oh, so the beyond healing magics was just maybe those are temporary, like the healing magics are temporary? Or are they just saying, alright, you used healing magics, this will give you 1 hit point above that. So the uninterrupted part is important because, like, say you sleep for 23 hours and then you get a random monster like springing on your party, you don't get that 1 HP back. So like if everybody's at like 2 HP and then you're desperately trying to rest to recover your HP, but you can't because you keep getting ambushed by monsters, that would mean that it doesn't count. Like you don't get that, so you're just permanently stuck at like 2 HP and it's hopeless because you just cannot recover. Decrease. This command decreases the time to be spent in camp. This may mean that the characters do not memorize all the spells they want, or the characters may not recover all their hit points, but sometimes time constraints are part of the adventure, and the party cannot spend all the time it wants resting. So, let's say you've got a spell that takes 4 hours to memorize, and you rest for 3 hours, and then you move, and then you rest for another 1 hour. It doesn't count. I'm assuming it doesn't count because like it has to be 4 hours straight. Like, so it's not just like rest, learn, rest, learn, rest, learn. Like you have to do it all in 1 block. Alter. This command is used to change the basic makeup of both the party and the characters who are a part of it. You are given the following menu. Alter menu. Alter. Order, drop, speed, icon, picks, and exit. Order. This command allows you to reorganize your characters for combat. You can place characters in the first or second rank. The first 4 characters are in the first rank, where they will meet enemies hand to hand. The rest are in the second rank, where they can use spells and missile weapons. I remember reading like yesterday about like how the ranks were messed up, to where like, you know, people in the second rank were just not able to hit enemies. Like if they were slings or bow users. But we'll have to wait and see. The first 4 characters are in the first rank, where they will meet enemies hand to hand, while the rest are in the second rank, where they can use spells and missile weapons. The computer asks who takes position number 1, etc., and reforms the group with position 1 on top when all the choices are made. Positions of NPCs can be changed with this command. So as soon as I boot into the game, I'm going to have to do that. Drop. This command allows you to drop a character or NPC from the party. Once dropped, the character is gone from the party. His current version will not be saved if you then use the save command to save the game. Speed. This command controls the speed of messages presented on the screen. Oh, okay. That explains it. If you're having trouble reading messages before they disappear, use the slower command. If the messages seem to take forever to get off the screen, use the faster command. Note that once you've used this command, it affects all subsequent messages. You may have to reuse the command if later messages are too fast or too slow. Speed menu. Speed. Slower, faster, and exit. They should have put this paragraph under this icon. When a character is created, he is given a combat icon. When the party is in combat, each party member's icon designates his position and general facing on the screen. General facing. You mean like you can set up the characters to all be facing outwards, you know? Like have certain characters be facing left and right on the edges of the flanks. Okay, the icon command is used to change the character's icon. You can customize this icon to represent the character's favorite weapons, armor, and colors. You may want to do this when a character picks up a new weapon. Icon menu. Icon. Parts, color, size, exit. Parts. You can alter the weapon, which controls the rest of the body shape, or the head of the icon. You are shown both the ready icon and the character's action icon, which shows the character attacking. When you're done choosing the weapon and head, you can reject the new form or accept it. The screen shows you the new and old versions of the ready and action icons. Parts menu. Parts. Weapon, head, exit. Color. Use the color to alter the color of virtually every part of the icon as shown on the screen. Some of the areas you can alter on the icons do not correspond to the terms given in the menu. Okay. For instance, changing the shield color for a character with a bow or crossbow actually changes the color of the arrows or quarrels. Play with the icons commands until you get a feel for how these variables work. Color menu. Weapon, body, cap, hair. I didn't see cap. They never had cap anywhere. They just had weapon, body, hair, shield, arm, leg, exit. Size. Large size icons are usually used for humans, elves, and half-elves. Small size icons are usually used for dwarves, gnomes, and halflings. Size menu. Large, small, exit. Exit. When you're done, use this command. The computer will ask you to confirm any changes to your icons. Make sure your choice and the computer returns to the... Let's see. Make your choice and the computer returns to the alter menu. Picks. This command governs when character and encounter pictures will be displayed. Picks menu. Picks. Characters on off, monsters on off, and exit. Characters on off. This command governs the portraits displayed when the character statistics this command governs the portraits displayed with character statistics when you use the view command. Characters on shows the pictures when you view a character. Characters off hides the pictures. When the character is hidden slightly, speeds up the game since the computer does not have to take the time load or draw out the portrait each time. Yeah, we don't care about that. That ship has sailed. Monsters on off. This command governs the pictures that appear during encounters. Monsters on shows the animated picture when the monsters get to the closest range in an encounter. Monsters off include monsters off hides the animated pictures. I'm going to pause here for a second. Encounters. When a party comes across NPCs of any kind, there is an encounter. The party provides a quick glimpse of who the party has encountered. Let's see. Then asks you what you want to do. The computer determines whether both parties see each other, the NPCs surprise the party, or the party surprise the NPCs. If the party surprise the NPCs, the party can attack immediately, getting a free round to attack in which the NPCs cannot retaliate. The opportunity must be taken at once, or the surprise is lost. If a hostile NPC surprises the party, the NPCs can attack immediately and get a series of attacks without retaliation by the party. So they get, does that mean they get 2 attacks in a row? Well, it says a series. It kind of sounds like they get a free round of attacks, like double the amount of attacks that they would normally get. If the NPCs do not surprise the party, if the NPCs do not surprise the party, the computer offers these commands. Encounter menu. Encounter. Combat, wait, flee, advance, parlay. Parlay? Combat. The party attacks the NPCs. Who goes first is decided on the basis of initiative, which is explained in the combat section. Wait. This allows the NPCs to decide what to do. They may wait, combat, flee, advance if more than a square away, or parlay if in the same square. That's what happens if both parties choose wait. Then you're in a stalemate. You're just both waiting for the other one to do to act. You just get like a Mexican standoff. Flee. If you see NPCs you think your party cannot fight successfully, you can use this command, run away. If successful, you may flee wildly, risking getting lost. If unsuccessful, because the NPCs can move faster than you do, you go to combat. Advance. If the NPCs are far away, use this command to approach them. Once the NPCs are adjacent to the party, the advance command will be replaced with parlay command. Parlay. Parlay. Use this command to speak with NPCs that are adjacent to the party. Pick the character who you think will make the best impression on the NPCs. Then choose one of the 5 possible attitudes for dealing with the NPCs. Hit. Parlay menu. Parlay. Haughty, sly, meek, nice, or abusive. Haughty. You try to demonstrate your superiority to the inferior creatures you are dealing with. Some encounters only respect an air of superiority and are impressed enough to cooperate. This is a good way to make them resentful and attack. So don't do that with people who are perceive themselves to be superior to you. Sly. You try to get information out of the NPCs without them realizing you are doing so. Some NPCs realize you're trying to get something out of them and will become hostile. So don't use that on people who perceive themselves to be smarter than you. Or actually, I guess that would only work if they are more smarter than you. I wish they would go more into it, you know? Like saying, alright, this depends on your charisma or your intelligence or something. Meek. You are mild and unassuming in hopes that the NPC will think you are not worth attacking. Of course, some NPCs attack meek opponents because they're easy pickings. Nice. You try to be friendly in hopes the NPCs are friendly to you. Some NPCs do not choose to be friendly to anyone. Well, I'm going to try to be nice to everybody. Abusive. You try to bribe information out of the NPCs. It's best not to do this unless you have the power to back up your threat. So what is the difference between haughty and abusive? Wait, is there a load command? Let me check the quick reference thingy. To load a game. Is there just not an easy way of doing this? I see a thing for saving a game, but I don't see one for loading one. Am I just gonna have to like exit out of the game completely in order to do this? Sheesh. I don't think there is. This sucks. The computer assumes you are as effective as possible in the attitude you call for. Combat. In many adventures, the party will have to fight the enemy to fight to defeat the enemy. In combat, the computer determines which characters, both player characters and NPCs, have initiative, which goes first and depicts that person and his nearby compatriots. If the character is a PC, then the player will control his actions. If the character is an NPC or PC under computer control using the quick command, the computer determines his actions. Well, they didn't really go into detail about the quick command yet. Hitting the target. The ability of an attacker to hit a target with a melee weapon, such as a sword, spear, or fist, or a missile weapon, such as a bow or crossbow, depends on the chance the attacker has of hitting the armor class of the top target. This is represented by a number called the THAC 0. The higher the THAC 0, the lesser the chance to hit the target. The lower the THAC 0, the better the chance to hit. A target's defense is his armor class, or AC. This is also influenced by, the armor worn plus the dexterity of the target and may have. And it is hard for me to read this because it's very, very bright because of the snow. And it's clear skies outside, so it's like just magnifying the solar radiation hitting my eyeballs. Alright, this is influenced by the armor worn plus the dexterity of the target and any benefit various magic spells may have. Magic has another method of hitting a target. See the magic rules. The lower the armor class number, the better the armor. The number needed for an attacker to hit a target is the attacker's THAC 0 minus the target's armor class. The attacker hits if a random number from 1 to 20 is greater than or equal to this number. Thus, a person with a THAC 0 of 18 needs a 14 or more to hit armor class 4. I'm rereading that. Armor classes can go into the negative numbers, so the same character trying to hit an armor class of -1 would need to get a 19 or better. In combat, the first and second attackers strike at the defender's front. The third attacker strikes the defender's rear. How would they get all the way around to the rear? Like, how do they manage to surround you? They're right in front of you. Are they talking about the second row? Like the second rank? Like, how did they manage to get all the way to the rear? The fourth and any additional attackers strike the defender's rear. A third attacker strikes the defendant's rear unless all attackers are adjacent. The defender's AC is substantially reduced against rear attacks. A thief forms the only exception to the automatic facing rules. If the thief attacks from exactly the opposite the first attacker, he can backstab. Again, how do you go all the way from facing directly in front of somebody, like directly opposite to them? Are they like leaping straight up in the air, somersaulting, and then managing to do a backstab? A backstab has a better chance of hitting the defender and does additional damage when it does hit. Why wouldn't you want all your characters to be thieves then? Using missile weapons. A character may not use a missile weapon if he has an opponent next to him. What do you mean next? Are you talking about like directly in front or directly to the sides or what? If he has no opponent next to him, he can fire a missile at anyone in his line of sight. What is considered a line of sight? The next previous commands will only aim at the targets in the attacker's line of sights. Beginning combat. Each character can be controlled manually or by the computer. At the beginning of combat, each character is controlled the same as he was in the previous combat. Any character under manual control may be turned over to the computer using quick command. All characters may also be simultaneously switched to manual control or computer control. Check your quick reference card for the commands used on your system. Executing combat. When combat begins, the screen shows the area around the character with the highest initiative. The entire party may not be on the screen at the same time, and we can rarely see all the monsters at one time. Why would the entire party not be at the screen at the same time? They should just be all grouped together. The computer indicates the active character and lists his name, current condition, armor class, and current ready weapon. Characters and NPCs move according to each character dexterity and a random number generated by the computer. This is called an initiative number and changes with every combat round. Is there a difference between a combat round and a turn? Okay, so a turn would probably be per each character, and a round would be like both the attacker and defender's like cumulative turns. This is called an initiative number and changes with every combat round. Usually higher dexterity characters move before lower dexterity characters. You may use the following commands to handle your side of the battle. If a character cannot use a command such as turn for a non-cleric or cast for fighter or thief, it does not appear. Oh, I see what they're saying. So certain classes can't use something, so it just won't show up. Combat menu: move, view, aim, use, cast, turn, quick, done. Move. This is used to move a character and to attack. You attack by moving the character into an enemy square. You can even attack party members, but the computer gives you a chance to abort such an attack. If you disengage an enemy, he gets a free attack at your back, as do others you move by. So you can't exactly flee without consequence. They'll just get off a parting shot. Some characters may have multiple attacks in one turn. Bows get 2 attacks per turn. High-level fighters get 2 attacks every other turn. All the character's attacks are taken against his first target. If the first target goes down with the first attack, you may aim the remaining attack at another enemy. Fighters may make a special form of multiple attacks called a sweep. A sweep may attack several weak targets with a single blow each. Oh, that's a nice touch. Refer to the Quick Start card to find out how to move the character with your particular computer. The number of... Well, wait a second. I don't think the Quick Start thing... I'm reading the Quick Start card and it doesn't say anything. Like, this is for IBM and compatibles, I think, is what they were. This is the one that I've got. The number of spaces your character can move is reduced by the weight carried. A character weighted down with the coins or extra armor and weapons cannot move as fast as he could without the items. Bulky armor can also reduce movement. Can you give me the equation that determines like how much it affects me? A character who is faster than any enemy can run away from the fight, eventually running away from the battlefield. A character who is as fast as the fastest monster only has a 50% chance of getting away, otherwise he must remain until the end of the fight. A character who is slower than any enemy cannot run off the edge of the fighting area. A character who has run away is no longer part of the fight. He returns after the fight is over. So your whole party doesn't flee, it's like per character. View. This is essentially the same command used anytime you wish to see a character. Using this, you can ready appropriate weapons to meet the fight in progress. Some options, such as trade, are not available in the middle of combat. The use command shows up under items to allow you to use an item, such as a wand, in combat. Well, I mean, wouldn't the spellcaster always be using a wand? Aim. This command is used to aim an attack using the following options. Aim menu. Aim. Next, previous manual. Target and exit. Next. Use this command to look at all possible targets, starting with the one closest, then going to the next closest. The computer looks at all possible targets, including other party members. Don't shoot without looking. However, the computer confirms your order first before shooting at a teammate. Previous. This is the command opposite the next command. Use this command to look at the possible targets without starting. Use this command to look at the possible targets, starting with the one furthest away and working back towards your character. This is usually a good way to find a good target without working your way through all of your PCs first. Manual. This command lets you aim anywhere on the map. It is especially useful for finding opposing leaders and targeting spells with area effects. So, like, I guess if one of the leaders is like hidden or he's just separated from the front lines. Target. If your character has a ready ranged weapon or an item prepared with the use command, this command shoots at the target you selected. Use. Tis command allows a character to use any non-weapon item. This is, I mean, spell checks have probably existed for as long as most word processors have. I'd assume, maybe not. I mean, editors exist, right? Like, people editors. Editors who are people. Tis command allows a character to use any non-weapon item. The command brings up the same screen and menu as the item's command under the view menu. Cast. This is only available to magic users and clerics when they still have spells available. Using this command brings up the cast options of the magic menu. See that description of the magic rules. If hit recently, the character's concentration may be broken and you won't be given the cast option. Okay, so I guess if you run out of NP, it won't be available. Using this command brings up the cast options of the magic menu. See that description in the magic rules. If hit recently, the character's concentration may be broken, and you won't be given the cast option. Well, sheesh. You can get. That would mean that you get stuck. You get stuck into a position where you can't cast because your concentration keeps getting broken because you keep getting hit. Turn. Clerics can sometimes destroy undead monsters or turn them away from the party. Oh, I thought turn meant you're turning them to your side. This has no effect on any other form of monster. See the appendices for a cleric's minimum level to affect various forms of the undead. Quick. This command turns over control of the character to the computer. This is a good way to handle fights against hordes of less powerful opponents. Once you have established computer control for a character, the computer controls him in future fights until you interrupt it. The computer uses ready melee or missile weapons and available spells. Switching between them the most appropriate in the situation. The computer plays a very aggressive game. So I guess it doesn't like automatically heal and stuff. Probably just uses your most powerful arrows, I'd assume, and your most powerful spells. Done. This command is used when a character has finished his turn. Done menu. Done menu. Guard, delay, quit, banish, speed, and exit. Guard. Guard. The character can adopt this tactic and simply wait to meet any attacker. This means that he attacks the first foe that moves adjacent to him before the foe attacks him. Delay. This command lets you delay the character's action by reducing his initiative number by 1. just had a headache. Actually, it's kind of a neck ache. The video card that I've got right now is from 2014. Is that? It's not the 280X, it's just the 280. It is 12, it says on this one website, it is 12 generations old. Interesting, it can actually play Grand Theft Auto 5 apparently. Interesting. I can't play Dark Souls with the video card that I've got right now. The Dark Souls 3. When was Soma released? No, not gonna run that. Oh, I could probably run Soma then. When was Soma released? 2015. So yeah, I can probably run it. Okay, I need to get off of this. I keep doom scrolling. I got distracted by texts from work and stuff. Guard, blah 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 blah. Delay. If he is the only one to be at the next lowest number, it is his action again. He can continue to delay his actions till all others have had their reaction for that round, and then he must take an action or lose it. Okay, that makes sense. Quit. You can signify you're finished with this character by using this command. Bandage. This command only appears if a character, a member of the party, is dying. The character for whom the command appears can use this command to manage the party member and keep him from dying. Speed. This command is described under the alter command of the encamp menu. What was it again? That just has to do with messages. I don't know why they would like use that in combat. Okay. If the party flees. As long as any member of the party survives to the very end of combat, bodies of the unconscious or dead party members are assumed to be with the party. If the party flees from combat and all unconscious... really? If the party flees from combat, all unconscious and dead party members are permanently lost. If the party dies. If all the party members are slain, you will have to go back to your last saved game point and try again from that point after combat. When combat is over, the screen will show you some congratulatory message, then present a menu of commands. If a command does not apply to this after combat situation, it will not appear. Treasure menu. View, take, pool, share, detect, and exit. View. See, inspect your character. At this time, you can use the drop commands in both the items menu and the character screen menu. I'm assuming the drop has to do with like treasure, not dropping a party member. Take. This command is used to pick up a treasure. Take menu. Take. Items, money, and exit. Items. Use this command to produce a list of items carried by the monsters you have overcome. If more than one head of missiles weapon, all the remaining missiles are lumped into one line. If there are more than 199 are on one line and the rest are on another line. Frequently, the weapons and armor used by monsters are substandard and not worth picking up as treasure, so they are not listed. So yeah, I guess when you've got weight as a restriction, you know, you don't want to pick up a bunch of like really cheap stuff. If one character tries to pick up too many items, the computer will say he is overloaded and will not allow the acquisition. Money. The computer displays each type of coin available and how much of each coin there are. You indicate how many of the coins the active character takes. One character can take all the coins if he has the strength to do so, or he can allow each character to take a share. So I guess the thing that I would do is just have a character that isn't carrying a lot. Pick up the coins, then you would pool the coins, share the coins, and just you can go from there. If you try to pick up more than the character can carry, the screen displays a message saying this character is overloaded. It will not let any more coins be put in the character. Remember, carrying lots of coinage slows the character down in combat. If you had enough coins that you were like literally slowed down in combat, that is kind of a very, very not a problem to have. Pool. This command makes all party members drop all of their money into one. My chair isn't really uncomfortable, it's just I keep sitting in a way that is uncomfortable. There. I'm gonna sit on a mound of pillows. I'm just a mountain of pillows. Pool. This command makes all the party members drop all their money to one pool of money. It becomes part of the treasure, and the party members can use the take menu to reapportion their funds. I guess so. You could have one character pick up some coins and switch to another character, pick up more coins. Share. This command picks up all the money in the treasure, divides it into shares, and distributes it among the characters. Detect. This command casts a detect magic from the current active character. What would be the point of that? I guess like if you pick up an item and it might be magical, you could cast detect on it, but doing it for all the items would like take forever. Exit. This command lets you leave the scene of the battle. There's still items that can be picked up. The machine will remind you that there's still treasure left. You can go back to the treasure menu or leave the treasure and go to the adventure menu. I'm just going to keep doing this until 11. Magic. Magic is integral to Pool of Radiance. Both magic users and clerics can use magical spells. How magic works. The spell can exist in one of three forms. In memory, in a spellbook, and on a scroll. In memory. A magic user or cleric who has a spell in memory is said to have memorized a spell. You can cast a spell as shown in the cast command description. In spellbook. Magic users can write their spells into a spell book. They can only write those spells into the book of which they have the ability to cast. They can only write those spells into the book of which they have the ability to cast. The books are compendiums of spells, among which they choose the ones they want to memorize. So are they talking about like you pick a book up, you write in a spell, and then you can share it with another party member who also has that ability? Or to give it to another party member. Clerics do not keep a spell book, they simply pray each day to get their spells. Do you have like a finite set of spells you can memorize at any one time? So you can only have like a set of spells, like, and then you have to use a spell book to keep the rest in reserve. A spell on a scroll. A spell written on an enchanted scroll can be read by a cleric or magic user depending on the kind of spells on the scroll. A magic user must cast the spell Read Magic to understand the spell's a scroll contains. Once he has done that, he can read the spell aloud at any time to cast it. A cleric does not need a read magic spell to read a clerical spell on a scroll, but only a cleric can read the spell. Once any kind of spell has been cast or scribed from a scroll, the spell disappears. So maybe there's certain spells that a magic user can't memorize and just has to reference the scroll every time because it's like the purview of a cleric. A magic user may scribe the scroll spell into his spell books for future memorization. This erases the spell from the scroll. Spellcasters can get a list of their memorized spells from the cast option of the magic menu or from the spells option of the view menu. They can get a list of their spells on scrolls from the scribe option of the magic menu. If all you want is a list of available spells, be sure to exit before you actually cast or scribe the spell. Magic menu. Cast. Memorize, scribe, display, rest, and exit. Cast. Use these commands to cast spells. In command, the spellcaster is the current character. In camp, the spellcaster is the current active character. What happens if your active character doesn't have spells? Cast menu. Cast, next, previous, exit. The cast menu appears in both the magic menu and the combat menu. It shows all the spells available to the active character. Find the page with the spell you want to cast. Select the cast command. Then select the spell. If necessary, indicate the target of the spell. If you do not find the spell you want, you can exit. In combat, the character can take another option. Otherwise, the character returns to the magic menu. Once cast, a spell is gone. Really? Once cast, a spell is gone until it is memorized again. What? Wait. So that means you can only use a spell once during a battle? For a character to learn a spell, use this command, which only appears in the encamp menu. The computer dispels a page from the active character's spell book or a list of possible clerical spells, and you are offered the following commands. Remember that if a magic user or cleric has the ability to learn more than one spell of a level, he can learn the same spell more than once. Okay, so you could just have the same spell queued multiple times? Like you could double memorize something? Memorize menu. Memorize, next, previous, and exit. Find the page with the spell you want to memorize. Select the memorize command. Then select the spell to memorize it. The pages here are just pages of the magic spellbook rather than just the list of already memorized spells. Picking a spell to memorize does not mean the spell is memorized. Learning a spell takes 15 minutes game time per level of spell, plus a period of relaxation, starting to memorize one or more spells. See the rest command in the magic menu. So memorization takes time, and then you have to rest after it. Only one spell may be learned at a time, though the spellcaster need only relax once before learning several spells. The learning time must be uninterrupted. You have to go to the rest command and spend the time to memorize the spell. If you have only been in camp long enough to memorize some spells, those are learned and the others lost. The spells are memorized in the order you pick them. Example, a magic user decides to memorize 2 uses of Magic Missile, a first level spell, and 1 use of Invisibility, a second level spell. This is a total of 1 hour of time for memorization plus 4 hours of relaxation time. So it's 15, 15, and 30. If the party is attacked before the first 4 hours are up, no spells are learned. If the party is attacked after 4 hours and 15 minutes in camp, the magic user has learned 1 magic. I need to get off of this. need to get off of this. Okay. Dang it. I got stuck. Okay. What do you mean he's... How long does it spell? Plus a period of relaxation. Okay, I see what's happening. Alright, if the party is attacked before the first 4 hours are up, no spells are learned. If the party is attacked after 4 hours and 15 minutes in camp, the magic user has learned 1 magic missile spell. After 4 hours and 30 minutes, he has learned both magic missile spells, and after 5 hours, he has learned the invisibility spell as well. So what's happening here is the first hour is spent like with memorization, and then the first, okay, so it takes 4 hours of relaxation after any given spell is learned. So that's 15 plus the 4 hours. Like it's the same amount of relaxation no matter what. It stays fixed. It's just the amount of spell learnage that varies. Once you have picked all the spells for one character, you exit the menu. The computer displays the spells you have chosen and asks you to confirm the choices. If you confirm the choice, you go back to the magic menu and can select the spells for the next character who needs to memorize them. If you cancel a choice, all the choices are ignored and you must reselect all the character spells. Scribe. Use this command to inscribe spells the character finds on a scroll into his spellbook. Scribe menu. Scribe, next, previous, exit. The computer displays all the spells on scrolls that the magic user has cast read magic on. Okay, so I guess the first step is just to identify what's on the scroll. Find the page with the spell you wish to scribe. Select the scribe command, then select the spell to scribe it from the scroll into your spell book. If the spell is too high level for the character to scribe, the computer tells you so. Scribing the spell erases it from the scroll. Scribing takes the same time as memorizing a spell and is unsuccessful if the total time is not taken. So what's the difference between scribing and memorizing? Maybe they just don't have MP in this game. Display. Use this command to find out what magic spells are currently working on. I think that sentence could have been rewritten. Use this command to find out what magic spells the party in camp is currently working on. That it seems more like it'd make more sense like that. This serves as a reminder of obvious spells working on the entire party. Okay. No, what they mean is like they're talking about like spells that are applied to all members of the party, such as Bless or Light, and on individual members of the party, such as Protection from Evil or Invisibility. This also reviews subtle curses, although not the nature of the curse, on the party or individuals in the party. Rest. To memorize spells, one must rest. This takes you from the rest menu inscribed in the encamp menu description. Spells are not memorized unless the character has rested the necessary time. The exit command in this use of the rest menu returns you to the magic menu, not the encamp menu. Spells available. A beginning magic user is given 4 first level spells when he leaves his master to adventure on his own. These are shown in the spell book for the magic user. So you gotta memorize them all first, though. Each time the magic user gains a level of experience, he gains 1 spell, even though the rise in level may give him the ability to learn more than 1 new spell at a time. To gain further spells, he must find scrolls and treasures and copy spells he is capable of casting into his spell book using the scribe command in the magic menu. Okay, fine. So you gotta find the scrolls, scribe them into the spell book, read this. No, actually, before that, you've got to find a scroll, identify the scroll, scribe it into your book, read it from the book, memorize it, and then rest. So it takes like forever to do this. This is like really complicated. I don't know why they're not just like do it like Pokemon does with like new movement thingies. Clerical magic. Clerical magic is similar to magic user magic, but a cleric needs no spell books. All spells possible to his level are always available to the cleric. He need only memorize them. Just what spells are available depends solely on the level of the cleric. Therefore, when a cleric finds scrolls with clerical spells on them, he can simply use them straight off the scroll, since they are not something he needs to scribe into a spellbook. I'm assuming that once you read them, they just disappear. Okay, so my question is... Okay, saving throws. Magic is a chancy business. Many spells do not necessarily affect your targets. This is simulated with saving throws. In Pool of Radiance, the saving throw is a chance the spell has no effect on or lesser effect on the character it is cast on. As the character gains levels, the saving throws improve, and the chance that magic affects him is decreased. The final results of any spell are shown on the computer screen. Magic users have better saving throws against cast magic or magic from items. Clerics have better saving throws against death and poison, and dwarves and halflings have better saving throws versus any form of magic. The spells. Some spells are quick and can be cast in combat, and some take an extra long time to cast. Those that take extra time can only be cast when using the magic menu from the encamp menu. So I'm guessing like ones that are like preemptive, like before you go into battle. Time and magic. The duration of magic spells is important. A spell's duration is either instantaneous, as with most damage spells, measured in rounds, as with most other combat spells, measured in turns, as with many detection and protective spells, or permanent. When planning use of spells to use in movement, such as find traps, remember that 1 round So wait, every time you use find traps, you've got to like memorize it and then rest for 4 hours. So like in order to move from like one square to the next, you have to like rest for 4 hours. It's like 4 hours rest, 4 hours, or 4 hours cast, 4 hours cast, 4 hours cast. Remember that 1 round equals 1 minute of game time. 1 turn. Shouldn't that be backwards? Or is that? Are they saying that would be 11 minutes? Or 16 if you've got 16 people in the party? I'm pretty sure they got that backwards. The spell list. The spells available for characters in the pool of Radiance are first level clerical spells. Bless. The spell can only be used in camp or in combat, and it only affects those characters not in melee. Why not? It gives a bonus of 1 to their attack 0 for 6 rounds and raises the morale of friendly NPCs by 1. Use it in camp only if you know you are going into combat immediately afterward. Well, you can only use it in camp anyway, so why are they trying to reinforce that? Curse. This reversal of bless affects enemies not in melee and modifies their attack 0 and their morale by 1. Usable only in combat and lasts 6 rounds. So if they're referring to rounds, yeah, I still don't understand that. Hopefully they'll have like an in-game clock that like tells you like how much time is passing. Cure light wounds. This can be used at any time. Caster must be next to the target. Heals 1 to 8 points of damage. Cause light wounds. This combat only spell causes 1 to 8 points of damage to one adjacent target touched by the caster. I don't know what the difference between being adjacent to someone and being in melee with someone is. Detect magic. This is similar to detect evil, but lasts only 1 turn. It detects the presence of magic in a square, in a 1 square by 3 square area, but gives no details on the type of magic. Ah, that would just be so tedious, like trying to get all that done. Protection from evil. This spell can be used in combat or in camp when you expect to go into combat shortly. It adds 2 to the AC of the character against evil attackers. So you've got to do it for each individual character. Any saving throws caused by attacks of such monsters are at +2. Okay, so that's a good thing. The spell lasts 3 rounds per level. The caster must touch the target, which can be himself. Protection from good. This is essentially the same as protection from evil. But it protects against attacks of good creatures. Resist cold. This spell protects the recipient against cold, providing absolute protection against cold up to 0 Fahrenheit, and an additional saving throw against cold-based attacks. The duration is 1 turn per level of the caster, and the caster must touch the target. Second level clerical spells. Find traps. This must be cast in camp. It makes any traps in the direction of the character. It makes any traps in the direction the character is facing visible to the character. The spell lasts for 3 turns. So does that mean that line of sight just goes off into infinity? Hold person. This combat only spell holds immobile from 1 to 3 Cleric's Choice. Creatures of roughly human shape and size. The duration is 4 rounds plus one round per level. Resist Fire. This is identical to Resist Cold, but it works against heat and heat attacks. Silence, 15-foot radius. This is a combat spell. It silences any spell casting or discussion in the radius. If cast on a person, the radius follows him around for the duration of the spell, unless he makes a saving throw. If cast on an area, the spell affects everything in that area for the duration of 2 rounds per level of the caster. So I guess you could use that maybe to keep an enemy from casting any spells, because you have to speak them. Slow Poison. This spell can be used in camp or combat. It revives a poisoned person for 1 hour per level of the caster. The target of the spell then dies unless a neutralized poison, a high level spell used only by NPCs, is cast on him. So you have to like go all the way back to civilization. You just have to keep casting slow poison every step along the way until you get back to town. Snake Charm. The spell can be cast in combat only. It influences as many hit points of snakes as the cleric's hit points. What? The snakes cease all activity for 5 to 8 rounds. Okay, that's kind of some very academic levels of hit point calculation. So cleric has 5 hit points. It hits, I guess it could hit like multiple snakes for a total of 5 hit points. Spiritual Hammer. This is a combat spell which creates a temporary magic item, automatically readied. It can strike at range and does normal hammer damage. It strikes monsters that only magical weapons can affect. This lasts for 1 round per level of the caster, so you pretty much have to cast it immediately. It's funny because I'm reading a book that the character uses kind of something just like that. 3rd level clerical spells. Animate Dead. This spell can be used in combat or camp. It turns a dead human into a zombie and to help the spellcaster. In combat, the zombie fights for the spellcaster, though controlled by the computer. The spell is permanent until the zombie is destroyed. If created to work with the party, a zombie becomes an NPC, and there must be room for him in the party. Remember, the limit is 8 characters, where he cannot be taken along. Huh. So I guess that's why it's a 3rd level, because it's permanent. Cure Blindness. This touch-only spell is used in combat or camp to cure the blinding effects of the Cause Blindness spell. Cause Blindness. This touch-only spell can only be used in combat. The victim gets a saving throw. Duration is permanent unless negated by Cure Blindness or Dispelled Magic. Cure Disease. This spell can be used in camp only. It cures the disease caused by mummies and the Cause Disease spell. Cause Disease. This is a combat spell with a touch range. There is a saving throw. If a character is afflicted with a disease, over time he loses HP and strength points until he is down to 10% of his normal values. This disease is cured by a cure disease or dispel magic spell. So I guess like he only goes down to 10% of his normal values. Like you can't use it to actually kill somebody off. Like you'd have to cause disease and then like kill him off with, other means. Dispel Magic. This spell can be used either in combat or camp. In combat, it affects every magical spell and item in an area. In camp, it affects every person and item you select. There's a percentage of chance of success with the spell, depending on the level of the caster and level of the originator of the spell to be dispelled. If successful, the target magic is permanently eradicated. What if you use it on a person, though? It's like, oh, I used to be a cleric, but then I got Dispel Magic cast on me, and now I can't do anything. Prayer. How much longer does this go on? Good lord. I'm not going to read this for too much longer. I'll read up to the point of first level magic user spells. Actually, am I almost done with this? I am. Oh, I've still got the whole journal thing to read, so that's gonna take like another like freaking 4 hours. We're already at like the 3.5 hour mark, I think, of reading this stuff. Partly because I've like had interruptions though. Prayer. This is a combat spell that lowers all attack zeros and saving throws for friendly combatants by 1, and raises them by 1 for all unfriendly combatants. It has a 60-foot radius and lasts 1 round for each level of character. Remove Curse. This can be used in camp or combat and allows the target to be rid of a curse. As from a curse or bestow curse spell, or put down by a cursed object. The range is touch. Bestow Curse. This spell has a duration of 1 turn per level and is used in combat. It has variable effects determined by the computer. Alright, I'm just going to stop here and I'll finish off this and then get started on the journal the next time I stream. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do next in terms of what I'm going to be doing. Maybe actually get some progress on certain projects done that I have to do that I've been putting off that are not fun projects.